Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of On the Couch with Pokerbet, joined by the CEO of Pokerbet, Darren Kramer, and one of the most familiar faces in SA Poker, Ahmed Karrim. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to sort of unpack some topics around the world of poker in South Africa and around the world. This is going to be something that we're looking forward to put out once or twice a month from Pokerbet. Just shedding light on some of the upcoming events around the series, having some guests in, get inside the head of some of the top pros in the game, and also just to discuss what Pokerbet's doing to try and grow the world of poker in South Africa. So without further ado, let me give you a little bit of an introduction to Ahmed Karrim, somebody I battled against towards the tail end of my professional career back in the late 2000s when he burst onto the scene. It was very evident that he had some skills back then. I took a little bit of a hiatus out of the poker world for a while. And in that time, Ahmed just kept rising the ranks and firmly established himself as SA's leading tournament pro. Sorry, Jared Solomon. But Ahmed, tell us about the last 15 years in a nutshell.
The last 15 years have been pretty awesome in many ways. I started off just playing tournaments. The cash game, for the first 4 to 5 years of my career. I then landed up playing some tournaments, immediately got hooked onto it. It was just a strategy about it. And it's just completely different to cash. Cash is kind of the same thing. You do over and over. And a tournament, you're on the table, you play for 9, 10 levels, you play the whole day, you try to work players out. The first 2 years, no scores, wasn't sure if this is what I want to do, busting every day, looking for re-entries, things like that. And then late 2015, I got a pretty big score. And since then it's been, the last 6-7 years has been pretty good. Lots of ups, lots of downs. But for the most part, it's been good. It's been special.
Yeah, and we've seen that rise. We've seen the results along the way, and some of them defy statistical norms. I guess you've had some inspiration. I know one of your biggest inspirations, which is always the private joke that's discussed. The man on your left, who was, for a large period of time, South Africa's third highest on the all-time money winner, Darren Kramer. Many results back in the day when Darren and I were traveling the world, living together, traveling to Vegas, just continually getting results around the world. He set a target, and I think it was probably around November last year, you finally passed him and knocked him into fourth. Darren, tell me, how does it feel?
Jeez, I used to watch him, Opal was letting, the little, guiding the little kid along the journey. But jokes aside, actually, it's been quite an awesome 2-3 years just watching him fly. I internally gave up the fight about a year and a half ago. I knew it was inevitable. Always joked, I said, Ray Rami cracked it. It's unachievable. But then, Jared and I thought we would stay, 1 and 2 after that for the foreseeable future. But up came this superstar. And I think it's quite an amazing thing. I can honestly say, because I've obviously been a hybrid between mainly a cash game player with a tournament player on the side, to watch South Africa since, Jared Solomon have however many tied cashes record in Vegas, someone come that truly we can say is South Africa's best tournament player and actually flies at flag. And I want to say a statement, but I might be wrong, but I would hedge that everyone have the entire field. This guy on my right, he'll be winning a bracelet in the next 2 years.
Well, why do we have to wait 2 years? What about 2024 in Vegas? Which
Let's
actually
hold thumbs to that, brother. Amen.
It leads us on to that topic. But I think just to give you an insight as to the kind of results Ahmed's picked up, if we go back, just getting back from Vegas 2023, we all went over for the World Series, and there was a huge South African contingent there.
It's
The first
biggest ever.
big one since probably the 08-09 era, where Pigs Peak and Silver Sands were very involved in taking teams across. It was a lot easier to buy into the main event at 8 to 1. Nowadays, 19, 20 rand to the dollar. It makes it a very expensive excursion for us. But Ahmed had a great result last year in Vegas. A lot of cashes, played many events, came back. And then he just went on a heater. Looking here, we have the Sunbet Poker Tour in PE. He chopped the main event with our colleague, head of digital, Sean Bloom. Went on from there to the SA Poker Open at the Monte Casino. He won the 70K Super High Roller first event and then ended up third in the main event. There's a noise there. I think it's because Darren ended up winning it. But yeah, a great result. And then on to Grand West, the last stop of the 2023 Sunbet Poker Tour. He won the opening bounty event, followed by another sick run in the main event, chopping heads up, taking the bulk of the cash deal against one of our international French colleagues. And he, just an amazing run of results. It's quite one thing to hit a lot of cashes, but it's the firsts and the seconds, which is where the big money's made and often the hardest part. Ahmed, what do you put it down to, that run? Is it just a case of variance ironing out and finally finding some things going your way? Because you had some pretty brutal beats along the way last year in the beginning half of the year.
Yeah, definitely lots of variance, I would say. I mean, for sure. I don't think I was doing anything different after Vegas to before Vegas. I think I did everything and I approached everything in the same way, in the same manner. It's just like, some flips goes your way, some scenarios where like you get lucky, your 70-30s go your way, 60-40s. Yeah, and then next thing you put yourself in a position to actually win the tournament. And like for sure Vegas, there was a lot of scenarios where I also had some bad fortune, a few deep runs, and you can't pick and choose where you win, you just got to be grateful when it comes your way. But luck's a funny thing, because I always say, like, you never really know where, like, you could be lucky in a big spot, you could be lucky in a small spot, and you just got to take advantage of it when it comes your way, I guess.
100%. I think that leads on to the plans for Vegas 2024. We're going to touch on all the various campaigns and things that Pokerbet, Shuffle Up, Monster Jam, the SA Poker community are looking to get another big crew back in Vegas this year. But just from your side, going to Vegas, we're talking about 99 events this year in the main event. It's a record amount of events. It's very difficult, to find the bankroll to get you into all these events, but also to structure your schedule, to get enough sleep in between, to not burn out. What goes through your mind as you're leading up to get there? We can touch on topics of health and exercise and nutrition and headspace and all those things that you're able to control to give yourself the best possible platform of which to hopefully find that variance and luck run your way this year. What do you sort of start planning ahead and set yourself up for the best possible World Series?
So this year I'm planning to hopefully do things a little bit different than I did last year. I'm definitely not big on exercise, which I'm hoping to try do this year. I'm like getting into it slowly.
They've got paddle courts in there.
That's definitely something that I've been doing a lot of. Just like, how can I say, like, there's a bunch of events, that I generally wouldn't burn out at. Like, I just kind of play everything, I'm super excited to get there and just play. I generally get very good sleep. That's not something I've been sure of. For the most part, I have a pretty good routine there. I don't really play at night. I don't really go out too much while I'm there. I don't really drink while I'm there. And I think at the end of the day, you're going there, or at least for me, I'm going there to work, It's not really a holiday. Obviously, if things go my way, then you have a night here, a night there. But I take it pretty seriously and pretty professionally. And
I think you've hit the nail on the head. If I look back to the sort of our 20s when Darren and I were going to Vegas and we were professional, we didn't behave like it because all the sort of pitfalls, the traps, the drinking, the casinos, the sports betting, the cash games, the nightclubs, you get caught up into all of it. And if you're not approaching things incredibly professionally, it's very easy to let it get away from you. I know from a personal side of things, going back to Vegas after a 14-year break last year, I was going back there as a father. I didn't drink. I was a different man. We were working as well, but it was a completely different mindset change to exactly that. Knowing that you're there for your job, you're there literally to set yourself up for the best way possible. Like you say, if you avoid all those late nights.
Don't get me wrong, I've been going there for a few years and I've done all of these things.
Exactly, but it takes a while till you learn.
Sports book, my favorite place. But like I say, this year I just want to try and approach it in exactly how I described it. And, it's easier said than done, but hopefully we can get it done and we can get his request done of winning the bracelet,
That's only going to set him even further back behind you in the rankings. But, that leads us on, DK, from a Pokerbet point of view and just in general, the South African poker community. What do you see for 2024 and beyond? And are you excited for the sort of hype and interest that was generated by the big crew going over last year?
So I think it goes back to the theme of why Pokerbet and what I wanted to do and create and build, being a pro and now being on the other side. I think for me, growing the poker community, creating the sense of community of us going there together. Last year was like the first taste. We went there was Ahmed there was Jared there. We took 5 clients, some of the staff were there. It was awesome. It was a little taste. I think this year, and even when our whole sort of vision, bigger, better, more sort of like experiences growing and just opening the door to people that thought it was impossible, it was unrealistic to go there, to make it achievable. I think if you look at like even the ideas that we want to do, there is, we're going to be running in May an awesome satellite to go to Vegas, obviously, which is super exciting. The 25th of March, Monte Casino, a live satellite, which is great. 2,000 Rand. Many people will be like, geez, 2,000 Rand can get you to Vegas. Very excited about that. And I'll tell you what's also been amazing, even before I got into the studio here, is the amount of people that have been messaging and saying, how's it? We'd love to join part of Team Pokerbet. We were going, how can we go about it? There's just an awesome sense of community. And it's something that, sort of encapsulates what I want to create with Pokerbet. And it's sense of, poker is we're against each other, but together. Yeah. And I really want to just, create this Team South Africa vibe, go there. I really think the line is probably about 30 strong and just make us heard.
Yeah, 100%. I draw parallels to the Brazil community. I'd say 2010, even when I was sort of leaving the community, there were 1 or 2 guys that I knew from Brazil. Felipe Ramos, I became friendly with. He used to come out to World Series of Poker Africa events and the WPT events. And he became sort of GG Poker ambassador for GG Poker in Brazil. A huge community in Brazil. And what I found chatting to these guys and understanding how they've really put Brazilian poker on the map, they probably are, per capita, the strongest poker players in the world at the moment.
Yeah, and definitely the fastest growing.
Yeah,
by far.
And you've got obviously a huge population in Brazil. Off the top of my head, I'm guessing they must be close to 300 million, but they've got a huge community that work with each other. They travel together, they study in groups. And like you said, Darren, you're against each other, but you're helping each other become better. And I know that you and I, Jared, guys that sort of back in the late 2000s, we shared ideas when we were traveling. We could only speak poker. We didn't know anything else, maybe occasionally the handicap on a Bulls rugby match. But we spoke, ate, drank, sleep, everything poker, and only betted our games. And I think that's also what we've got with Ahmed and having him as a Pokerbet ambassador is we're wanting to have him sort of lead an inspirational group of people who can look up to him, talk hands, provide access to him at some of our meet and greets and events where we have satellites winners there, just to be able to have that access to the leader in the industry. It's something you don't really get to find in other sports out there. And it's something that can only benefit the game of poker in South Africa. I'm excited for this year. Just to touch more on that event at Monte Casino, Shuffle Up Poker running a satellite where for every 180,000 Rand they generate in the prize pool with a 2,000 Rand buy-in and a 1,000 Rand rebuys, for every 180K there'll be a package. I think it's called Take a Trip to Vegas event. That package, the 180K, is going to cover about $4,500 worth of buy-ins in tournaments, flights, accommodation, some experiences. We took some of the guys that were with us last year to Cirque du Soleil, to a couple of fancy restaurants, maybe even throw a helicopter trip in, Top Golf, a couple of the cool events in Vegas. Really just making an experience for 12 days where for many people, this will be the first time, sometimes the only time they'll ever get a chance to experience it, and really just create a incredible trip of a lifetime. I know that the guys who came last year, 2023, with us, there were a lot of friendships and banter formed there. That was great. And we just want to see it continue to grow. So obviously we hope to see more than one package that's given away in that event. If we're being optimistic, maybe 4 or 5 people from the Shuffle Up event will join us.
I think 5's probably the line. I would make the line 5.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I like
we can
that.
have a side
I think it's incredible that you guys are doing this, because like to what you said earlier, it seems like it's something that's unrealistic for a lot of people that's watching, when like for $2,000 you can come and get in, you know?
Yeah.
So like, why not?
I mean, even more to that point, we had probably our biggest success story from last year. We had Charlene Govender, who was a grinder on our site, playing cash games. Yeah. We ran these competitions where the highest raker in each category, or the top 5, would go into a lucky draw. Charlene, in the low stakes category, ended up coming second. The guy won the seat, didn't take the package. He couldn't make it. Charlene took it. And he ended up coming to Vegas and ended up turning this package into winning a satellite into the main event. A $10,000 ticket.
Absolutely incredible.
And coming home with a lot of shopping, a happy wife, and an experience that is hard to sort of explain how unachievable it was for somebody that was trying to grind. His online alias, pay my rent, literally, trying to make a bit of extra bucks to pay the bills. And ended up taking him to Vegas and experiencing something with a crew of mates that he's made friendships for a lifetime. And I know there are more stories out there that are waiting to be scripted.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to script a few of them this year.
Let's hope so. And I mean, it's not just Shuffle Up, Pokerbet itself. We've already got 2 guys part of our team, one of which won the last SA Online Poker Series Player of the Series in November, Adam Wolf. And then Chad Binder, he ended up winning our first competition. I think it was beginning of this year. Was it second? No, well, I'm saying Adam was last year, but Chad 2024. And those are the first 2 teammates. We're going to be running, like Darren says, another competition online, satellite, to win another package. And we got a couple of other cool campaigns coming up, one of which is actually underway at the moment. We're running 3 monthly millions on the last Sunday of every month. That's a $3,300 rebuy add-on event. $1 million guaranteed. Plus, we're running 3 monthly minis, which is basically a 10th of the size prize pool, $100,000 guaranteed for $330 rebuy add-on. And the leaderboard from these events, those 6 events, you'll earn points based on where you cash. The top 8 will be entered into a qualifying leaderboard shootout event, where the winner in that event will win a package to Vegas. So we really are trying a bunch of different mechanics and campaigns to get the pool of people joining us even bigger. And like Darren says, there's even some guys who want to come on their own pocket, but they want to come as part of Team Pokerbet. So we're looking at maybe opening that up. Maybe we can go overs on the 30 people in Vegas this year.
I'll definitely go over on that.
And maybe we can go unders on
If
the
I was
2
a
year.
betting man, I would
Never had a bet in your life.
Yeah, and I can say maybe even the line on 2025 for the first bracelet might be wise to go under if we send a proper field. We had 4 or 5 guys made final tables last year. Hagai, Rudolph, yourself, Muaz. I might be missing somebody else, but those were all 4.
Giovanni. Wasn't WSOP, but still.
Gio won an event.
Pretty amazing results.
I think Jesse, didn't he find a final table?
Jesse final table. So we had a showing, and like from sample size and variance, all it took was 1 flip to win, or to hold up with your ace. Was it ace jack versus ace 6?
Ace king. Ace king of clubs was ace 6.
You hold up in a spot like
punish him, and punish the was.
And you'll come back with revenge. But yeah, it's an exciting time for SA Poker. I think just to see the hype and the build-up, not only overseas, but locally. Again, Sunbet with multiple stops this year on the Sunbet Poker Tour. Starting off, in a couple of weeks, next week actually, in Pretoria, Times Square. Darren, 5 million guaranteed in the main event, and obviously a bunch of other events. Are you going to be very present and up there again?
Yeah, no, looking forward. It's actually a great sort of month of poker in South Africa. It's probably 2 of the leading events on the calendar. I think it's next Thursday night is the 25K event, which is great. Probably be battling with with both of you guys there. Also an awesome event on the Sunday, which we send your team. There's a team event, so I think it's about 9 to 10 teams, of which Pokerbet has a team, and you just, from your local, whether it's your local club or your local town, putting together 9 people. I'm excited. We are going for the 3-peat. We've done, we have not. We've shared the trophy once, we've won it. I'm hoping that we never. Yeah, exactly. And don't worry, we even, just shows. We breed the talent online. We don't even, Ahmed, myself, we don't even play. But the next generation of talent, that's where it's all happening on Pokerbet. So jokes aside, there's that. I think on the same time, Ahmed and I are also competing in a very interesting format. It's a businessman tournament. You basically have to wait to get invited by a businessman to play, so you can't actually enter. Luckily, I don't know about this. Long time ago, I made sure, even though my role has changed, I'm definitely considered still a poker pro, so I can't pick Ahmed. Otherwise, that's what would have happened. But I've got a very capable partner, and so does Ahmed. We finished 1-2 last year. Yeah, they took the title last year, but we're coming back for them. So anyway, that's a very exciting businessman tournament on the Sunday. And then, as you said, the following week is the 5 million main event. And just one thing to say, there is also some smaller buy-ins, for people if you want to have a small entry in. I know the Little Slam is obviously very popular. So there's something for everyone.
The very first event's actually next week, Thursday. It's the 8,000 Rand. I'm pretty sure. Friday's the 25. So the welcome to
Pretoria.
Welcome to Pretoria, This is a very cool tournament for 8,000, 500k guarantee.
Nice.
We'll definitely smash the guarantee. Every tournament's just going to smash the guarantee. Yeah. It's the first one of the year. Well, basically the first big one of the year. Yeah. It's always very big. So,
and as you know, there'll always be satellites running on Pokerbet as well as live satellites at Times Square. So you can qualify into these events at a fraction of the price. Try your luck. You never know where it goes. I mean, we've all got stories of careers being started, winning a satellite into an event, getting a cash and just getting the momentum from there with a bit of confidence. And next thing you're sitting on a couch hosting a podcast. Ahmed, it's been great having you in here. I think that maybe just to get a little bit of insight into how you're constantly trying to evolve your game. Poker is a game that's constantly changing. The styles, the techniques. I remember, back in 2006-07, you'd raise 3 times the blind before pre-flop when you're entering a pot. Now it's 2. Then it changed again back to 2.5. There's always these sort of trends. Solvers have come into the equation. Solvers are sort of just mathematical programs that runouts, basically, a million runouts of a particular solution, and then you start working out ranges and understanding what the optimal play is if you're playing game theory optimal, which is something that we're all trying to strive to, but we don't have the brains to be able to memorize every different chart and grid. How do you balance your sort of ability to live read players, which obviously is very high, and you understand where you sit in a hand, with the solvers, and knowing that a lot of these youngsters that are coming through the ranks online are very robotic. They're literally following charts, which maybe loses a little bit of the nuance of being able to read people in live events. Balancing the two, adjusting your strategies, how do you ensure you're constantly ahead of the curve?
Yeah, poker is very unique and special in that way, in the sense you can basically get 5 guys having a completely different approach and they can all be winning. And that's the crazy thing about it. What works for you might not work for me, and what works for me might not work for someone else. I don't do a lot of solver work, if any, if I'm being honest. I do watch a lot of the high stakes online poker tables, all the final tables. I follow pretty much all the top poker tournament professionals, in my opinion. I think this is a cool way to study and to understand, what people are doing and why they're doing it and things like that. Again, it's not going to work for everyone.
Yeah.
Some people can't watch videos and study this way, and some people can. So for me, this is how I approach it. This is how I try to stay ahead. I obviously play a lot, which I think is probably more important. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be people out there that disagree with me, but I think also experience is a big thing. I've been playing tournaments for close to 10 years now, and I think when you're at the table, you have an understanding for what people are trying to do and things like that. This is important.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
I mean, and to your point on following the top tournament pros, I mean, we've all got our favorites. I know that you think Helmuth is just brilliant. But who are the guys that you sort of consider up there as top tournament pros? I mean, hard to ignore Stephen Chidwick. And obviously you got Negreanu up there, you got Fedor Holtz. I mean, they're all coming from different movements. Chance Corneth had an amazing couple of years.
This guy, I think, is actually unbelievable, Chance Corneth, because especially for like a lot of the tournaments other than South Africa that I'm playing, they're always big fields. They're always in that 1,500 to 3K mark where it's like minimum 500 players to like 5,000-6,000. This guy's unbelievable. He's very good at like explaining. He's very relatable, and he's very good at explaining, his students, so to say, how to like navigate big fields and things like that. And solvers are great. Obviously, if you're going to just play good poker, you're going to win. That's the reality, even if you're losing like EV in like these small scenarios. But to play these big fields, like, there's a lot of experience and there's a lot of like adjustments and a lot of exploits that you have to do in order to navigate these fields. Everyone's not playing with solvers, so you can't really approach a 3,000 man field in a $1,500 buy-in.
No, that's interesting. I mean, Chance is great. Jason Kuhn's obviously up there as well. Darren, your side, do you sort of follow anyone other than Ahmed, who you idolize?
I've always liked Fedor. I think, he's just great. This
guy is just unbelievable.
He's a typical German, just precision. It's all just so calculated. One thing I also want to even add on the Chance thing, which is quite mad. I mean, show how old and maybe I went backwards even forwards. Probably, 10 to 14 years ago, I was playing 25-50 PLO with this guy in Aria all the time. This guy wasn't playing tournaments, whatever. The ability that he had to just like transition or even like take the focus, because obviously getting instant gratification from cash. It's been quite mad to follow. So amazing what he's done. If you give me one, Fedor Holtz, I'll take him.
I think that we're lining ourselves up for a World Series of Poker prop bet here. We can each pick a player and maybe have a little last longer or a punt on who has the biggest cashes this year.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, from
For me, it's Adrian Mateus, actually, now that I think about it. I think this guy is probably the number one tournament player.
That's great. Those are some names to put on your list for the upcoming World Series of Poker, getting underway late May 2024. So we've got about a 3-month countdown before it gets underway. 4 months before Pokerbet are going to be heading across there. We're looking forward to it. We're definitely going to be hosting more of these shows in the upcoming weeks and months. I think this has been a lot of fun first time round.
Yeah.
We're just sort of finding our feature. It's been great to have Ahmed come in and chat to us. I'm sure we'll have him again in the future. Thanks for making the time.
Yeah, it's great to be here, man.
Yeah, from my side, wishing you all the luck. I hope you come second at the main event at Times Square, because I'm hopefully going to bink something again for the first time since 2009. Darren, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Nice to see you in the office for a change. But it's great to have you, and we'll be back with more episodes of On the Couch with Pokerbet. Good luck on the tables, and leave some comments, anyone else you'd like to see on the couch and any other topics that you'd like us to cover. Let us know. Ciao.
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 'Cause I'm a mission like the never need to plan.